3,
2, 4.
Hey guys! Why'd you say 3, 2, 4, bro?
Right.
Baldness right here?
No.
You're not me.
Five.
Something
And then
like
you
that.
get it. So y'all have to go watch it.
If you know, you know.
Yeah.
Hey guys! Welcome back to Table Talk with the Sisters. So today we have a very special guest back on the podcast for her second appearance. And she has told us that this is the first time she's going to be sharing her testimony on social media overall. So,
Yes.
let's give a warm welcome to our mom!
Woo! My bestie.
No, she was my bestie first. But anyways.
They love me that much. This is my first time sharing my testimony. I feel like sharing your testimony, I feel like we all need to. But there's a point, like last year when I wanted to do like a video, like on my social media platform.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's like I hold back because it's like, I don't want to be judged, you know? But at the same time, it's like, no, I'm sharing my testimony now is because I realize and I know that it's going to all glorify God, you know, because he took me out of a dark place.
That's not who I am.
And that's not who I am.
Yeah.
And like everybody has a past.
Yeah.
And, you know, so I just wanted to share it. And this is going to be my first time talking about it.
What?
I mean, y'all know
Yeah.
a lot of like my past only because I want y'all to learn from my mistakes. I've shared it with friends, like, you know, close friends. And it's, you know, I'm excited to just see where this goes.
Ooh.
Can't help but feel excited. Okay. Well, so we're just gonna jump right in, guys. So before Christ, like, how were you? Like, how was your life?
Oh, and also, how did you first hear about Jesus?
Growing up, I grew up Catholic. I grew up going to church, you know, on Sundays, going to Bible, you know, school. They had like a kids Bible study class, but it felt like a class. And we wouldn't go every Sunday because my parents worked a lot. At that time, I would just go just to go. It wasn't more like, oh, I want to go to church.
It's because of your parents.
Because of my parents. And I didn't have a relationship with Christ. It was just more like, oh, Sunday, I guess, church, let's go, you know. So I would go. And for me, I always knew about God. Like, I knew God existed. I knew, and I would hear, you know, and I would read, like, on Sundays only.
Yeah.
In my eyes, I was like, oh, well, I went to Sunday, so I'm good, you know.
Okay.
But it's not like that.
Yeah.
So when we stopped going to church, I didn't like miss it. I was like, oh, okay, you know, as we got older, you know, at the age of 16, you know, I left home we're not gonna get into details. Everything changed. You know, my like, you know, first of all, I didn't have nowhere to go.
Yeah.
But you know, a friend, like an old friend, took me in. No, I didn't run away because of a boy or anything. That's usually what a lot of people say. But where I ended up, I guess it made it seem like that. But I'm like, no, the family that I went to, it was like somebody that we knew like way back. Living with that family, you know, it was like, oh, I'm not with mom and dad, you know, so freedom, you know. So I started doing bad things, you know. Well, even before that, I was already smoking, which turned to like a really, really dark place for me because I was like, okay, that was the only thing that will ease my pain or like will make me feel better, you know, or would take my anxiety away. So, where I was just, you know, drugs, that was one of the things, you know. I left high school for a couple months. I always remember this one teacher, her name was Miss Greenleaf. She would reach out to me and like text me, and I don't even know if she was allowed to do that because she
outside of school, I don't think.
She would be texting me and she's like, hey, where are you, like, you know. And then at one point I want to say that she called me and I did answer and she was telling me to come back, you know. And she was like, you're almost done, you know. So she's one of the teachers that I just can never forget. I ended up going back to school, and then I was doing like Saturday. At that time, they had like Saturday classes.
Oh,
I remember that. And I did like months of work because I put in the work because I was like, I'm going to graduate, you know? And I did a lot of, you know, catching up and stuff. And I still ended up graduating when I was supposed to.
What?
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was still like, you know, not in a place like, you know, I was hanging out with the round crowd. You know, everything was gang related. Everything was just drugs and, you know, alcohol. And that's when I started drinking. At the time, I felt like I needed to drink in order to have fun. And that's like what?
Yeah,
like now
funny.
looking back, I'm like, girl,
No.
yeah, what you doing? And then I met your dad. I had Layla, I had Leslie. And then we were still like partying and stuff here and there. And then we both went our separate ways after a couple of years. You were probably like you were very young. Yeah, y'all were still like toddlers.
I was like a newborn.
Because I was single for like a minute before I met like Albert. Actually, I known Albert because that's a whole different story how we met.
We should do an episode
We
of
should
love story.
Yeah, guys, comment down below if you want that. Like,
Yes.
both of them come on the podcast.
Like, tell how they met.
Yeah.
And, like, their whole
It's a very
relationship.
interesting story and how it all happened because it's crazy. But yeah, so when we started talking, you know, and it took me a very like a whole year before he even met y'all, and you were like 2, 3, and 5.
Yeah.
You know, I wanted to wait. I was like, oh, are you the one? You know, because that was the first time ever introducing y'all to like somebody, and I didn't want just any guy around, and I wasn't dating or anything before that. So the time that y'all would go out, like go every other weekend with your dad, that's when me and him would like go out and we'll drink. You know, he's never like he doesn't do drugs or anything, but like a drinker, yeah, like we were both, you know, and I was still smoking here and there. I remember there was times before he moved to Houston and I was here and then y'all would leave every other weekend and I would go out. There was times where I would drink like so much that I wouldn't even know how I got home. I wouldn't even know, like, you know. I mean, of course, I was with a group of friends and they will like we always had like that one person to drive and stuff. But that's crazy because what if she was drinking a lot and then how were
like
you know?
Everyone else was drinking and like it
Yeah.
could have been bad.
Yeah. And then I just made some just like it's frustrating to even think back because now it's like I tell kids like don't you ever do that, like you know, I tell y'all like drink and drive, that's dumb,
Dangerous,
you know. That's dangerous. Looking back, it's like I feel like, man, like there's so many times where God has always been there, you know, like protected me in so many ways. Like I can go on and on with stories, which y'all know a couple already. That's when I was like, man, like I will even pray, you know, but it was still no relationship. Like I wasn't seeking him like every day, you know. So then it came to a point where me and Papa, aka Albert, we will when we moved in together, we decided to move in together. We were together, you know. Alcohol was a big thing for me. I was still drinking, and he was like, you know, to stop drinking, you know, a lot. And I was an angry drinker. Like I was ready to fight people. Like when I used to like drink, I used to just get like if somebody looked at me the wrong way, I was ready to fight.
You were like that type of drinker. Because there's like all different types that
deep down there was a lot of hurt, there was a lot of trauma, there was a lot of, you know, things going on.
It's like that saying, what's it called? Drink away your pain. That's
hurt people.
Yeah. Well, but so he had to deal with me with that. Not that I would get it like physical with him, but it's just like with other people. So he's like, babe, like calm down. Alcohol was definitely a big issue in our relationship, you know, and alcohol is just not good, period, because it's like, for what, you know. Now it's like, I want to say it's been like 3 years since I haven't had any alcohol. And
what led you to like follow Christ?
It was definitely Albert for sure, because I remember he started like, so he got this job like Port Lavaca, like it's like an hour and a half away from here, and he was over there he was working so much, like he was working a lot. That's when he decided to start, reading the Bible. He grew up like in a Christian household and stuff, so he knew of God and stuff. So he started reading the Bible, really seeking God for sure. And when he started like making changes at home, making changes, like I can see the changes in him, I was like, what's going on? You can see the difference for sure.
I remember myself, I was like, what is going on here? And I thought it was so strange. That's a whole other story. Yeah, right?
Yeah. And that's crazy because even growing up with y'all, like going back a little bit, we've always had God
in
somehow.
Our lives in some way.
In some way. I definitely remember going to school and opening my lunchbox and asking like this little note. But I didn't really recognize that it was like a Bible verse. So I would just read, "Oh, I love you." And then sometimes I even got like so emotional I wouldn't throw it away.
Love making your lunches, like your lunchbox, and prepare your lunch. And then I would
school.
always had a note, and it was always like a Bible verse.
Yeah.
And then it's like we will all read it and be like, oh, but again, we didn't have that relationship with Christ. Yeah. And also the song that Papa used to sing to y'all every single night.
And it was also
every
crazy
night.
too.
And y'all wouldn't even go to sleep until he sings that song. And it was a God song that his mother used to sing to him.
Yeah. And what's also another thing is that rapper Brian.
Oh, Brian Trejo. Listening to him like years ago, right?
Yeah, when he like almost started basically.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, that's when crazy. I think that's when recently when he had gave his life to Christ too, because his twin got murdered.
Yeah.
And we will always listen to him.
Just go listen to him, Brian.
Brian Trejo. We will listen to him, and it's like just basically a Christian rapper.
Yeah. But it's like looking back, like there was so like small things in our lives, each one of us, that I'm like, wait, God was there, or God like threw something in our in that.
Yeah, there was. Now that before I answer your question, there was one time I would never forget. I think that was the first time that I really felt him. Was when we're going to Stafford, elementary.
Oh, I
in Stafford, and I dropped y'all off, and then I'm like, okay, well, that's when I had just had Stella, I think, because I wasn't working. Life was just like so, Albert has always been blessed with his job. He makes good money. So at that time, he was working so much, like a lot, that we were very comfortable in that sense, like financial. We were like very comfortable. That I remember driving home and we're like, oh, what can I do now? Like, because I had that freedom of like, being able to be home. Stay-at-home mom, not working, but not having to worry about anything financially. And I remember that one day I was driving, and I think I was listening to one of Brian Trejo's songs, because I remember praying, and it wasn't like a prayer of like, oh God, do this and do this to me, or like provide this. It was more of a thank you prayer, because I was like, man, like because of how my life has changed before that. And y'all know the story when it was just us three and I was single. It was very, very hard. Like sometimes I would just feed y'all and I wouldn't eat because I didn't have the money, and that was because of like other reasons. But I remember praying to God, and I was like, man, like thank you, God, like really for the life that I have right now. Like I was just so happy, and I remember crying. And I was like, man, like, so what led me back to Christ? To answer your question. Back to the questions. I'm telling you, it's a whole, it's just so much in the in-betweens, like
it's going to be like 10 hours of this.
Yeah, it will be a long story.
Like a long story.
To Christ, it was basically when I saw Papa really, really just going like seeking him, like truly, not just saying, oh, let's go to church, and no, it's like really changing. And I remember the first time that he told me, let's go back to church, and it's the church that we go to right now, Legacy. And then he was like, let's go back to church, and I was like,
Yeah.
Oh, you sure?
Me
like,
too.
Yeah, we were like, yeah, I remember telling y'all were like, what?
Yeah, I was so like.
Yeah, I honestly don't remember.
Because I was going through I was going through personal things with God. I was like, not angry, but I just didn't believe. I didn't
like questions.
Yeah, I was just like, oh no,
Yeah. So I remember, we went and we were like the people that would just like go and receive and like, okay, let's go, talk and stuff. And then so we started going to church. We're really like, seeing Papa for like a long time. Just the way that he was, the peace that he had, like it's just a different Albert for sure. That I was like, I want that. Like, man, we had so much like financially, we had everything, but inside of me, it was like there was no peace. There was still a lot of anger. There was still a lot of hurt. So I wanted what he had, and then I asked him the question. I'm like basically like how do you get that? And then when he started telling me about God, because he wasn't like, he would tell me about God, like trying to lead me.
Yeah.
But it's like, for me, it wasn't like, not like I don't want to hear about God. It's not that. It was just more like I wasn't ready. Like I was too far gone.
I'm too in love with the world.
Yeah, and I was too comfortable in the world that I wasn't like ready to like let it all go, basically, especially my drinking. So then he would just like encourage me to like read the Bible and stuff. And I remember he got me a Bible, and it's the Bible that I still have now. Oh. And it has the lines, and I love taking notes. Like I love highlighting, taking notes, and writing. Where he got me that Bible, and I remember going to my beauty room, and I was like, okay, like, okay, God, I want to get to know you. Like I prayed, and I was like, I want to like know you, have a relationship with you, and not just read this and be like, oh, like whatever, So I was like God, give me the wisdom to understand your word. Like give me the, remove any distractions. I prayed that. I was like, remove any distractions and stuff.
That's a scary prayer, guys.
And I was all in. I was like, okay, like let me lock in. As soon as I started reading the Bible, I was like, he did what? Yeah. Like, what happened? And then there were some stories. It's like drama in there. Yeah. Like what? He did this to her, and what?
Cain did that to
Abel, like his brother. The Bible is just like a blueprint how to live your life, right? Mm-hmm. So I was just like, man, you are right. Even though it's hard to sometimes receive what's in there, you're like, but she did this to me. Like, what you mean? Like, forgive, I started reading, taking notes and stuff. I read the whole Bible in less than a year. Because that's how I was dedicated. And like, y'all remember when when we would get home and I didn't read my Bible in the morning. Usually I read it in the morning. That I remember going out and we're like, before I go to bed, I need to read my Bible.
Oh yeah, she was.
And I would spend hours.
And I remember celebrating for you. She's like, oh my gosh, guys, I finished the whole Bible, and I was like, you know what, you go, queen.
Yes. Yeah, and then so I started like reading. I started like really praying. I started really seeking him, like going to church, receiving. That helped. Not that me and Papa's relationship was bad, but it's like our arguments were different.
Okay, yeah.
Like back then, we would raise our voice, kind of like, never physical, but like, raise your voice and like, say like, kind of like, no, I'm right, you're wrong. That's how we were, like, the pride gets in the way.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But it's like this time it's like if we do have an argument, 5 minutes you see us hugging. Like, I'm sorry, babe. I'm sorry, because like, why are we arguing in the first place? Like, this was something so little, Mm-hmm. I started, doing like reading and stuff, and then I remember the isolation part. You know where I'm getting.
Yeah.
The isolation part.
I even was praying for her.
Yeah. So I had expressed to like my girls and my husband Albert. I was like, babe, like I feel like I don't have any friends. I feel like.
Was that like a struggle and not like.
Yeah, because I felt somehow like I still love everybody that I used to hang out with. Of course, you know, they were like close friends, but my path was different. Like they were doing something that I didn't already like. I didn't desire to do it no more. Like I didn't want to go out to like a club, or I mean it's been years before, but like, you know, to like a bar or something. I was like I didn't want to do none of that stuff. My desires were different. They were like, you know, so when I stopped hanging out with the same crowd, I felt like isolated from everything, and I felt like I didn't have no friends. And I would tell Papa, I was like, oh babe, like, you know, I don't have friends. And he's like, oh, you know, just pray about it, like I'm sure you will have friends, you know. And then I told y'all, like, man, I feel like, you know, like I just want to have that one friend that is on the same journey as me, like trying to do the same thing that I want to do, like, you know, seek God and stuff. When we started going to church, I started meeting people where I was putting myself out there as more like staying and talking to people. It's not that I don't know how to have a conversation. I just always being seen as like, oh, she looks stuck up, or like, you know, that judgment already, because of the way, maybe the way that I look, I don't know, or the way that I see people. That I started putting myself out there and started meeting people, you know, and I started meeting, like, you know, all my friends now. Love y'all girls. And I remember I was like, you see, and I was like, yeah, you're right. But that's because I'm clicking with more like people that are in the same mindset as me, like the same things that I want to do, you know. Then I stopped drinking, you know, just I don't know where I stopped listening to secular music. You know, I started changing.
Was cutting off secular music hard, right? Because I've heard a lot of people say that. It was hard for me.
Yeah. It was hard, but it wasn't like I was expecting it to be harder.
Oh, okay.
If that makes sense. Because I used to listen to a lot of like Tupac, you know, a lot of J. Cole, I remember. You know, Russ,
Bone Thugs and Harmony.
Bone
Too short.
Thugs. Oh my gosh, yeah. So I used to listen to all that, but as soon as I started like just realizing, like, for me, I feel like if you listen to something or you're watching a movie, or it's like you're feeding that to your, you know, self. Like if you're listening to secular music and it's talking nothing about like drugs, sex, and who knows what, then it's like, what am I getting out of this song? Like nothing. So when I make the change, and I was like, okay, well, let me look into, like, let me see if there's Christian rap. And then when I started looking, that's when I seen Brian Trejo, and I was like, well, we already listened to him. Yeah. But I didn't connect to him too. I was like, well, let me look at different artists. That's when I started coming across like
KB.
You know, a lot of people.
Yeah.
So now that I have my own playlist, now if I want to listen to rap, I listen to Christian rap. And then when they rap about, you know, what I'm either living, what I went through, it relates more. You know.
It's like the secular music you can't relate to it anymore because, like,
it's just like I'm sad, but I'm still sad. But then like the Christian songs, like I'm sad, but God will get me out of it.
Yeah. And I think, like, even when I told y'all, I'm like, man, if y'all listen to, you know how they put the song, like, y'all probably, I'm pretty sure y'all did it. Y'all put a sad song and you're like, huh, I'm crying.
Oh yeah,
just to be sad. I'm listening to this sad song because I want to cry more.
Yes, no,
and it's like, girl, what are you doing?
Yeah, looking back.
So you get real with listening to Olivia Rodrigo.
It wasn't as hard. I feel like I was able to be like, oh, well, I'm not getting anything out of this, and I don't desire that. For some reason, I just don't. It's just like alcohol. Like, if I see a cup, I'm like, I don't want to drink. Like, I don't want to do that, you know. My type of going out now is completely different.
Yeah, it's like going out coffee dates.
Coffee dates,
yeah,
for sure. Coffee dates. Like, hey, girl, they're, like, texting me. I'm texting them. Like, when are we getting our coffee? Like, a walk at the park while we're talking. Those are my type of hangouts now. And it's like, it's so different than back
refreshing.
then.
It's different.
It's so different.
So, like, if you guys don't know, they are part of the youth ministry. So how did you guys like get there?
We're going to church. It's been a minute already. We were asked by a youth pastor at that time. That's like kind of like it would tie in, like, if we do a couples, because I would like for Papa to say his part.
Yeah.
But basically we were asked to join like the youth, to be a youth leader. So we're like, oh, okay, yeah, you know. So we ended up being there for like a year or so, and then the youth pastor left back home, and then they told us they told him that if he wanted to be the youth pastor.
What?
Yeah,
That's
but
crazy.
it's crazy because
crazy,
a lot of things happen in between
Mm-hmm.
that it was like, you know, God opened doors for sure. And yeah, I'll let Papa say part of that story because that's like his side. It goes way back when he was 16, 17. So that's how we ended up, and we're here. It's been over, I want to say like over a year. Over a year.
Yeah, it feels longer.
Besides your struggles like with alcohol, you know, stuff like that, what was your other struggles that you know was struggling with?
I would definitely say anger. The patience part. A lot of like not having patience with, you know, a lot of things.
Yeah.
Wanted my way, you know, the way that I speak, you know. So that was definitely something that I'm even still working on right now. My patience, you know.
Well, I could say you definitely improved in that, like for sure. Like I saw I could see some growth in you.
Okay.
Yeah.
And also the way that I used to dress definitely changed too, like a lot, because I was everything was so tight and showing, and I guess that's why I'm very like with y'all, like, hey, make sure that y'all, modesty is a big thing, a big talk that we have with them, especially Papa. He's been telling y'all, you know, the modesty talk. You don't need to be showing all that in order to feel, you know,
I could
beautiful.
say I feel more pretty when I'm like I used to wear tight jeans, and I as you can see, baggy. It makes me feel so comfortable, and I feel like I look more pretty and like baggy.
I mean, honestly, my style was just weird, so I didn't have a problem.
We're not gonna talk about that,
bro. No.
I'm gonna plop some pictures.
No. Actually,
do not put yourself up.
Oh my gosh, no, guys, it was bad. Seriously. Like I didn't
but
have
bad
a problem.
not in a way that she was showing skin.
Oh,
it was bad as in like
bad as just style. Just, like it was disgusting, bro. I was like, what am I doing? Like I used to think that was cool. Like I was like, okay, yeah, I'm just like I'm a cool kid.
Do you want to give an example of what you wore?
Oh my gosh. So, a lot of people know this about me, but when I was like 12 or 11, all the way up to like 13. Oh my gosh, I'm cringing out. Guys, bear with me, please. This is not a hard topic. This is a hard topic. Okay. I used to be... I used to love, like, watching anime and stuff.
So you had...
Can I say the highlight of the outfit?
What was the highlight?
She would tuck in her t-shirts and put a belt on.
Yeah. It's like so even with Stella, like if I tell her, hey, pick out your outfit, she will throw on something. I'm like was it you?
How does that?
Oh, was it your dad?
Whoa, throwing shots here.
I'm just saying, because he always wants to match one of us, right? So I'm like, oh, your dad dressed you up.
Every time all of, if you're watching, but every time like I come down. He makes it a big deal when we're matching. I'm like, you just want to match.
Yeah. He's like, bro, we're both wearing the green. I mean, the socks don't match, or the pants don't match. The shoes don't match. Your hair doesn't match it, but
the top.
But the top, you know, like we're kind of no, it's not the same, but we're still wearing green, you know.
Yeah, it's cute.
It makes your heart melt.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, he wants to match me.
Like with the problem with your dressing, and then like your anger. Like, is there anything else like?
Yeah, like patience, like I said earlier. Also with people.
Okay.
Like when I feel like a lot of people think I'm very quiet, you know, but I am. But at the same time, it's like it's more of I hold my tongue down because, as y'all know, I'm very blunt.
Yeah.
Very. It's like there's situations where somebody gets me mad, but instead of clapping back or like saying something, I'm like just like looking at them. I'm like, but Jesus loves you.
You turn the other cheek.
Like, yeah. So I tend to just walk away from the situation. My approach is different. It's like it's not like oh, I'm gonna go over there and confront them and start, because back then, yeah, I'm ready to fight anybody physically, but now it's just my approach is different, because it's like I don't need to prove my point, like God knows the truth, whether it's something that was being said as a lie or whatever. But when it comes to Albert, don't talk about him.
Yeah, she is protective.
I guess the reason why I'm very protective over him more than I am like to myself is because I know his heart and I know the person that he is. It's not just like all show and like at church or wherever we're at, like how people see him all joyful and stuff. It's just generally that's the way that he's always been since I met him. More now that he's definitely in the word. I'm very just protective over him, because it's just, I know how he is. I always told my friends, I'm like, there's always an issue. We're grown adults. You can come and like talk about it, like, hey, or like if there's any offense.
I feel like true friendship also, you should be able to talk to each other.
Yeah.
About issues that y'all have, or like say if one of y'all offended the other person, you should be able to bring it up and get over it and work it out and get better from it.
For sure. There are times though that I don't, like, if I have an issue, I don't go to that person like right away, because if it happened yesterday, I'm like, I'm still not ready to talk about it, because I am kind of like afraid of what I'm gonna say out of just emotions.
Yeah, and plus you're blunt, like what we said.
Yeah. It would take me kind of like a few days for me to like process and like, man, like, God, how can I word this? Like I don't want to say something to hurt or make this situation worse, but I'm still gonna address it because it needs to be addressed at one point. But I don't like doing it right away, because then I'm just speaking out of like feelings and emotions in that time, and they'll probably come out like, oh, you did this and you did that, I didn't like it. That's not how I want to approach a conversation.
That's what I really like about her, is that she's very she thinks before she says no, because back then she would just say whatever comes up her head, but I really like how you basically parent in a way, because some parents also to say whatever on their head when I offended you. Because let's say if I offended you, now you just first give it to God and just try to like, get space.
Hey, Lord,
like help me
right here, because this girl.
But I think it's so much better, because I as her kid, I say I receive more when she does that, instead of like her saying whatever comes up her head. Because sometimes whatever comes to her head is out of anger or emotions, and it's not nice. So it's like, that's much better, and that's what I really like about her, and I'm trying to work on. James chapter 1 verse 19.
Yeah, that was definitely something that changed for sure. It was like back then, it's like, oh, you got me mad, and we wouldn't even talk about it. Like petty. We would talk about it, but it was like, it wouldn't, like, now if I hurt her feelings, she would come to me like, hey, you hurt my feelings, okay, we'll talk about it and we'll apologize. Like, y'all had come up to me and y'all were like, hey, Mom, I'm sorry that I talked to you like that.
But I'm emotional, so I just start crying out of nowhere. And
then even with Papa, like, we'll have the conversation of like, asking them, because I want them to let them see that it's okay to apologize.
But I like that too, when like, because some parents, they also shut down their kid even if they are wrong, and the kid tells them. But it also teaches, like, y'all are also teaching us, like, stand up for yourself, but be respectful about it.
I want y'all to know that you can also set boundaries on any situation. How to say no, respectfully. Because a no is a no. Like, there's no, you don't need to give an explanation depending on the situation. After that, it's just a no. And you be respected. You respect, show love. That doesn't mean that let them just treat you all bad and not say anything about it. You can respectfully say something and bring it up. It just, and we talk about that all the time.
Like, do you have anything that you want to add on for like the people either listening or just like in general?
I would say that you're never too far gone. Seek the Lord. I used to think like, oh, I'm really messed up. He's not gonna. I already did so much, so many sins and all this stuff. But it's like, come as you are, and really, really lock in and like read the Word. That's something that you have to do. Constantly read the Word in the mornings. I mean, it doesn't have to be in the mornings, but I like to start off my day with reading the Bible. So easy to just get pulled back into the world because a lot of, like, for me, I was like, oh well, it's easy just to do things that I'm comfortable with. But it's like, man, it's so much peaceful over here, like so much, it's so different even with y'all, like, coming to Christ. Y'all see the difference in y'all,
especially my mindset.
Yeah, I don't miss anything that I used to do back then. I don't miss, the hangovers. I don't miss the stress. I don't miss, like, all the things that come with it. Like, being in the world is like, a lot of people are so comfortable because that's all they know. God knows your heart, I still remember the first time that I really got on my knees and started just praying was in my beauty room where I was like, is that Russ?
Yes.
So
Sorry, guys.
I would just say, he wanted to come.
Yeah, he wanted to be on the podcast today.
I encourage y'all to just start. Don't be like, oh, I'll start later. I'll do this later. Like, start. It's not just going to church. It's it's more than that. It's getting in the Word every single day. Having that relationship with God, praying. Prayer changes everything.
Yeah.
So ask questions. Living for Christ is such a beautiful thing. It's not easy, but it's so worth it.
Yeah.
It is. It's so worth it. Changed my life. Pulled me out of the darkness. He changed my girl's life.
Amen.
Like our whole family.
Yeah. And as a family, like, I want people to like see us as like Christ, like in general, like
like you want people to
be
see
the light.
Christ in us.
Yeah.
I definitely want that for sure. Yeah.
Thank y'all for having me again. It was fun.
It was really
it's like
fun.
I want to come back again.
We
can talk about something else.
Maybe another video if y'all want to.
Or if y'all have questions.
Yeah.
Like,
for sure.
Because I didn't go in details with a lot of stuff.
Yeah, we can do
because
Q&A.
It will be such a long video.
Thank you all for coming.
Yes, thank you for seeing the video. Okay, make sure you like, subscribe, turn on the post notification. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.